Hey, please go ahead.
Yes,
For the record, ma'am, could you state your name?
Linda Evans.
And Ms. Evans, how are you related to Cody?
I'm his grandmother.
On which side, mom or dad?
Neither. I adopted him when he was born. He didn't have grandparents.
Well, let's go back a little bit then, on how that happened. How old was Cody when, you adopted him?
15 minutes.
15 minutes, okay? And tell the ladies and gentlemen how that came about, 15 minutes.
Well, his mother was my very best friend and had been for a long time. And her mother lived in another state. And we were just always together, and I didn't have any grandchildren. So when Cody was born, it just became mine.
And mom? Who's mom?
Lisa Franks.
Is That's mom. How about dad?
Dad is deceased. He passed away short time ago.
I'll show you what is state's exhibit number 1. I don't know if that's on or not. Oh, it is. If that was purported to be dad's trailer, is that correct?
Yes, that belonged to his mom and dad, and they separated, so his dad and Cody stayed there.
Okay. When did they separate?
It's been several years ago.
Okay.
I don't know exactly
Okay.
what the year would be, but it's been a while.
Now, what town did you live in?
Beaumont.
Okay. And were you married?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about, if you were there 15 minutes after Cody was born, what part did you play in raising Cody?
Well, I just was the grandma babysitting when they needed to work,
Okay.
and his daddy worked for my husband.
Okay.
And
what would they do? Or what did he do?
contractor. My husband had a contracting business.
So his dad worked for your husband?
Yes.
Okay. What school did Cody go to?
Hampshire.
And when you said you lived in Beaumont, did you live out towards, in West Beaumont towards Hampshire for net?
I live out on Highway 90 across from the Beaumont Airport.
Okay. How did he get to Hampshire for net school? Through dad, where he was living?
I'm sure he rode the bus or.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about how did he get into that district? That school
They
district?
lived there a long time. His
Okay.
dad was there for years.
Tell me a little bit about what I tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, a little bit about Cody as he was being raised. Was he interested in any sports or any activities?
Oh, absolutely. He was a awesome football player and a good baseball player.
And did he play for the schools?
Yes, he did.
And so that would have been Hampshire for net schools?
Yes.
All right. And he graduated?
No, he did not.
Okay. What happened? What grade did he go up to?
I think 10.
Okay. And what happened?
He got in a little trouble and had to go to juvenile.
Okay. What kind of trouble was it?
Something happened at school. I'm not quite sure what it was.
So they put him in an alternative school for a while?
Actually, they took him to his regular school.
Okay. And he never went back to finish up?
No.
Okay. So what did he do after 10th grade?
Well, he had little jobs, part-time jobs, and his dad was sick, and he helped his dad out a lot, taking care of him.
So let's talk a little bit about Dad. What happened to Dad? We know that he's passed.
He had cancer,
He had cancer.
yes.
Okay. And do you know how long he had cancer for or how long he was dealing with it?
Well, I think he had it a lot longer than he knew.
Okay.
Because his health wasn't very good, and when he finally found out, he was already in like stage 3.
Okay. Um, when Cody left school in 10th grade, did he go live with Dad?
Well, he stayed with me and my husband quite a bit, and with his dad, mostly with his dad.
Okay. And did he help you out around the house?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Uh,
Cook,
he'd cook?
yes, he could.
Okay. Were there any other kids in the house or just him?
No,
Just him, okay. So you ran your errands, did odd jobs, whatever y'all needed.
I ran the vacuum. I've been sick for several years, pretty sick. He would run the vacuum cleaner for me and Mom, because I couldn't do that.
Did he ever work for your husband in the contractor or in the
No,
business?
He didn't. He worked for a contractor, but not my husband.
So what kind of work did he do or type of contractor?
He just helped them out, when they were building or remodeling, whatever they needed him to do.
So he was a hand,
Yes.
to help out. Did he contribute to any of the household, expenses or anything?
Well, he had bought him a car, and he was
So he paid for that.
paid for his car and his insurance and
Okay.
all of that, so.
Um, there's evidence that he or he did get in trouble for drugs. Did you know he was, smoking meth?
No, I did not.
Kind of he kind of kept that a secret.
But yes, he did, because I didn't, I had 2 sons that got in trouble with that, and they weren't allowed to be, when they were teenagers, and, Cody knew that that's just not allowed around.
How older were your sons to Cody?
Uh,
What's the age difference?
they're, almost, one of them, my oldest one's almost 60. So they were grown and gone, they weren't, they were gone from the time he, was hanging out at my house.
Did you know the group that Cody was hanging out? And I'm now going to 2022 now when this happened.
No, sir, I did not. They didn't come to my house.
Okay.
I met, Chelsea a couple of times.
Okay. Now that's Chelsea Ship.
Yes,
Okay. Well, and that's the one that's now serving time in the penitentiary for shooting Caitlin.
sir,
That's the one that's serving
Yes.
time now for shooting Caitlin.
yes.
Okay. What was your opinion or what?
Well, really, she just, seemed nice. I just met her. I was mostly in the house, and, my friend would always have a fire going out in the yard, and mostly they'd sit around out there and talked and grilled and things like that.
Okay. Did you know they were doing drugs together?
No, I didn't.
And you wouldn't have tolerated that if you had known.
No, I would not.
Caitlin Stone, the young
Yes.
girl that was killed. Did you ever meet Caitlin?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I knew her for probably about a month.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about, do you know how Cody, was introduced or got to meet Caitlin?
Her grandfather lived across the street from me.
Okay, what type of man was her grandfather?
Well, he was, I heard a lot of tales about him when he was younger, but
Okay.
he just seemed like a very settled down old gentleman, but I knew him, he was ill.
How long had you known him? How
He
long?
lived across the street from me, probably a couple of years or more.
Okay, so, I mean, he was kind of in his older age, I guess,
Right.
forthright and looked like a pretty good man.
Right, he would come over and sit around the fire and, you know, with
Okay.
everybody when we get together and just talk and visit.
So I guess we had heard testimony that Caitlin at some point moved over with her dad. She was living in Vidor or Orange area, and moved over to live with grandfather or grandpa.
Well, I don't know anything about, she told me that she lived with her aunt
Okay,
in Blythe.
all right.
And that she decided to come stay with her grandfather because he was sick and she was gonna help take care of him. And Cody was taking care of him. Cody would take him food. Cody would cook dinner for us. He would always take,
Food over to her grandfather.
Oh, yes, always.
Okay.
Sometimes breakfast and dinner, just whatever we did.
So Cody met Caitlin over there.
Yes, he went over there and he come back and he said, Nana, I need for you to meet somebody.
All right.
And he introduced her to me.
She was a very nice girl, wasn't
What a
she?
sweet little girl, yeah.
Did you realize that she was 16 at the time and Cody was 21?
I thought she looked awfully young, but I didn't ask her anything that first few days. And then when I found out, you know, it kind of shocked me a little bit.
Right. But they seem to get along together.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They watch movies and hang out and just sit out by the fire at night.
And would they go between both your house and the grandfather's house, her grandfather's house?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Nothing out of the ordinary of not getting along or
No,
being
never.
mean?
They both had a little dog. She had a dog and Cody had a little dog and they took their little dogs everywhere they went. Just, they didn't have a vehicle. So, but you
What
know,
happened to his vehicle?
It got, I think it got wrecked,
Okay.
I believe. I can't remember.
All right. Somewhere along this time after he met Caitlin, I guess they decided to move in together at his dad's house.
They didn't talk to me about that.
All right, so you didn't know that they moved into the trailer over there.
Uh, just one day, one evening, Cody didn't come home. I had been out that day. I hadn't been home all day. And, I finally called him and I said, Cody, where are you? And he said, I'm at my dad's. He said, I just came out to visit my dad a while. And I said, where is Caitlin? And he said, I don't know. And I said, yes, you do, because I hear her talking in the background. And he said, yes, she's here with me.
And at that time, Dad was sick, right? Well,
Yes.
he had cancer.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess he stayed there.
He never came back to my house after that.
Okay.
I talked to him on the phone, but, he didn't return to my.
Did he ever return back to your house before this incident of March 22nd? Is it 22nd? 26th, that's right. 26th of, it was 2022. 2000, did he ever come back to your house before this happened?
No. When he left to go to his dad, that's the last time I saw him.
I noticed during this week or last week and this week, you were talking to some of Caitlin's family.
I just met somebody's son yesterday.
The aunt or the cousin that was taking care of her?
Some of Caitlin's family.
And that was a young girl that came and testified yesterday.
Yes.
When this happened and you found out what had happened, Caitlin was dead and Cody and also Chelsea, but Cody was arrested for murder. What was your reaction?
What was your reaction?
Well, I found out about it in a really strange way. Her grandpa called me and he said, "Where's Cody?" I said, "He's at his dad's house." And he said, "Well, where's Caitlin?" I said, "She's out there too." And he said, Caitlin's dead." And I said, what are you talking about?" And he said that some relative in Kentucky or somewhere called him and said they saw it on the national news. We did not know about it.
Okay. So when you did find out and you confirmed that, yeah, Caitlin was gone and Cody was being held responsible for it, arrested. What was your reaction to that?
It's unbelievable. I could not believe it. It just did not seem anything like.
There was no sign that this would ever have happened.
No, they really just kind of hung out together and held hands and, just seemed like they were just happy.
There was some testimony, I know you were sitting outside, that Caitlin and I guess Cody thought that she was expecting a child. She was pregnant. Did you know anything about that prior to her death?
Well, I heard that when all of this came about, that they
Right.
thought she was pregnant. And I knew for a fact that she had a period just a few days, 2 or 3 days before she left my house.
Okay.
Because I took her to the store and
Okay.
got
Got
what she
product.
needed.
Okay. So you didn't know that she was taking, or they were taking tests to see whether or not she was expecting?
No, and I had asked her about, uh, I said, "Do you take birth control or anything?" And she said, "Oh, yeah, I take the shot."
Okay.
That was her answer.
One of the issues of some of the questions during this trial was that you realized that a 16-year-old girl shouldn't be dating or seeing a 21-year-old man.
Exactly. And I did discuss that at length with her.
Okay. And what was his response?
Oh, well, just, we know, no, we know, we're not doing anything.
Denying it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
after Mr. Sweat went to bed at night, he would go to sleep early. They would go over there. So went on over there. They watched a lot of movies at my house and Cody had a big TV in his room, but I made him leave the door open when they were in that room.
And Mr. Sweat is Caitlin's grandfather.
Grandfather.
Okay.
Mhm.
Miss Evans, have you ever had a loved one murdered?
Yes, sir, I have.
And who would have that been?
My son.
How long ago was that?
Said 7 years.
Not too far before this. About 3 years.
Your son, it's days
Okay.
that matter.
And did the person that did it, were they arrested?
They were arrested, but they pled self-defense.
And
He's walking around.
so
Nothing.
happened. Okay. One of the questions that is usually asked is, and I'm going to make this reference to your son. What did you see, or what did you want to see happen to the person that was involved in your son's death in reference to being held accountable?
Well, I thought he should have been punished. My son had no weapon of any kind. He was fishing, he had fish hooks. And a little, knife to clean his fish or do whatever with that. And the other man had a pistol.
Was this here in Jefferson County?
No, it was in Idaho.
Okay. But what kind of punishment would you want to see? Or, I mean, you're in a perfect position because if you weren't, then you don't know the pain and the agony and the suffering and the loss in reference to Caitlin's family and what they do, but you do. And now they have to decide what to do with Cody. What's the punishment gonna be? Now they've said that he's guilty. Now we gotta know, what do we do? What's just because Caitlin's not here?
Well, I never thought much about. I just wanted to see him, have something, instead of just walking out scot-free.
I mean, you didn't say put him away so he never sees the light of day.
No, I did not. There was all happening in Idaho and I was here.
Right.
So I was just on the phone with the deputies of the sheriff's department and pardon. Sorry. And they just kept assuring me that, that he'll be punished. Whatever whatever.
Were you upset when you found out that he was found, I guess, not guilty by self-defense? Were you upset?
Well, I was really hurt. I really was hurt.
But you wanted to see some type of punishment.
Right.
What do you think's a just punishment for Cody?
Well, I am not so sure that I agree with the jury about what happened.
Well, we asked him to decide, right?
Pardon?
I said, we asked him to decide whether or not he did it or not, correct?
Yes.
You may not agree with it, but they
Right.
did their job,
That's their
right?
job.
And you have to respect that,
I
right?
do respect that.
So now we're by that, and now they have the decision of what kind of punishment. And somewhere along the line, they're probably gonna see this picture again, which is State's Exhibit number 23, this girl.
Yeah.
16 years old, whole life ahead.
I understand that. But I think Cody cared a great deal for the girl, and I think that he wasn't as much involved as it looked like. The show, that.
There was testimony that said that after when Chelsea walked up and shot her in the side of the head while she was, I guess, sleeping in bed, there was a conversation between her, Chelsea, and Cody that said, now it's your problem what to basically do with the body.
I don't know about that. I don't know if Chelsea made that up in her head. I don't think Cody had plans to do away with Caitlin.
Pass the witness, Judge.
No questions?
Next witness, please. You excuse me. Next witness.
I call Cody Arnold.
Report. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are going to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, sir.
Please have a seat.
May it please the court,
Go ahead.
for the record, state your name, please.
Leon.
And Cody, we're here at this stage in the trial. Jury needs, as you understand, needs to decide what your punishment might be.
Yes, sir.
So now we need to talk a little bit about you so that maybe they can get a little bit of sense of who you are and what was going on.
Yes, sir.
You understand that?
Sir.
How old of a person are you?
25 years old now.
25. And since this time, where have you been staying?
Jefferson County Correctional Facility.
You've been there since this incident.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you born and raised in Hampshire, Fannett?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Did you ever stay with mom?
Not really, no, sir.
And that's mom there, right?
Sir.
Did you stay with dad while you were growing up some?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and where was he staying?
14539 California.
Okay. So he's been there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, grandparents, you saw Miss Evans here. You consider her grandma?
Grandma, yes, sir.
Okay, and I guess you lived there too, on and off?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Growing up, I was over there a lot.
why is that?
It's just, it was a better atmosphere and I stayed out of trouble over there more. They took better care of me.
Um, there was mention that you played sports in school.
So
You played what sports?
football, baseball, and basketball.
Did you like it?
Look, that was my life back then.
Huh? In 10th grade, they said you dropped out.
Yes, sir. I got kicked out.
Okay, tell us a little bit why you got kicked out.
I just did a lot of stupid stuff growing up, and I keyed a teacher's car because I got mad one day, and I got kicked out of school for it and got sent to boot camp, and got sent to jail for it too.
Okay, what did you do?
Keyed a teacher's car.
Keyed?
Yes, sir. That was that criminal mischief I got on probation for.
Okay. So you keyed the car and they put you on probation.
Yes, sir.
Because of that, they put you into Jefferson County boot camp.
Yes, sir. I was in there 8th grade, 9th grade, and 10th grade,
Okay,
but they also sent me to jail for it too.
okay. And when you got out, why didn't you go back to school?
Because they wanted me to go back to boot camp after I just did a year in jail.
Okay. Were you over 17 at the time?
I was 17.
You were 17, and as in the criminal world, that's an adult, correct?
Yes, sir.
Um, so they didn't want to bring you back to mainstream school. They wanted to keep you in the alternative school.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here you are, and you have an education of 10th grade. Did you get your GED?
I did.
Right. So how were you going to make a living?
I was doing construction jobs and I was an assistant manager at restaurants.
At a restaurant?
Yes, sir.
What restaurant was it?
Tier 1 News and Winning, Alties and Winning, and Stingray at the beach.
Okay. And you were an assistant manager?
Yes, sir.
What'd y'all do it for
I did a whole lot of cooking upstairs and downstairs at the beach, and I just helped them unload the trucks, do the stock, stuff like that.
about anything that they needed done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long did you work for those organizations?
Um, about 3 years.
Okay. Somewhere along the line, you went and moved back with your Miss Evans, your grandma?
Yes, sir. When I quit working at the beach, I came back over here and then I decided to stay at my grandma's because I was hanging out with the wrong people and when
Okay. And how did you know you were hanging out with the wrong people and winning?
because I got in trouble for methamphetamine.
And is that the probation in Chambers County?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what type of drug was it?
Yes.
That? You were given probation on that?
I haven't been in court for it. I've been in here ever since.
How did you meet Caitlin?
I was bringing her grandpa some food one day and she showed up
Okay, and how did you start off the conversation? I mean, what did y'all talk?
Yes, sir. I don't know, we just started talking.
Okay.
Like when I brought him some food over, she asked me who I was and I told her who I was and he told me that was his granddaughter and stuff like that.
And was she living there or was she going back and forth to Orange County?
She was living there.
Okay, you knew that she was from Orange County?
Yes, sir. 'Cause I brought her back over there a couple times to see who she was living
And who was she living with?
with. I don't know her name. I don't know the lady's name.
Okay.
She was living, I think it was like Navy Park or something with a whole bunch of people. She was sleeping on the floor in the kitchen.
Who was?
Caitlin.
Did you ever meet her brothers?
No, sir.
Oh. So she started living over at her grandfather's house.
Yes, sir.
Did you all start dating then?
Not right away, cause I kept telling her no, but she followed me around like a puppy. But she, I don't know.
Okay.
Sherman asked me to give her a chance, so I gave her a chance.
Okay, well, did you know her age?
Not off the bat, no, sir.
Okay, well, did you eventually find out she was 16 years old
Yes, sir.
and you were 21?
Yes, sir.
Did you realize that possibly there could have been a problem?
In my head, I didn't I rationalized it because Sherman told me it's okay. I need to be with him. He'd like me to be with him.
Okay, so her grandfather said yes or gave his blessings and you thought it was okay.
Yes, sir.
You realized that the law maybe have said something differently.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what did y'all used to do together?
Hung out, watch TV, cook, bonfires. I brought her to the mall a bunch of times, brought her to go see some friends wherever. And,
Just
we
get
did
along.
everything together.
Okay.
But like I said, she was always around me.
And did you all like each other?
Yes, sir.
And those feelings grow or did she become a pain in the rear end?
I grew.
Tell us a little bit about the conversation that you all decided maybe to start living together.
We really didn't have a conversation. We just moved in.
What do you mean? One day she said, "Here I am."
I mean, we just really never had a conversation. She just came over. We never left. We just went everywhere together.
Well, what did grandfather say about that?
We really didn't say nothing. Like we were always over at his house or my house. We were always right there.
And then at night you'd leave?
We
Or,
go to Sherman's house, go chill and hang out over there at
okay.
night.
How long, and that's your dad's house there, State's Exhibit number 1 up there, right?
Yes, sir.
And we heard that your dad was ill, uh, and you moved back there?
Yeah, I didn't move back. I went to go check on him and see him. I didn't know he had cancer at the time. I didn't find out he had cancer till
Okay,
February, not last year, but the year before.
okay. The year before this happened?
No, like 2024.
You didn't know he had cancer back in 22?
No, sir. I knew he was sick because he's always been sick. He was 71 years old, but he can't do nothing himself no more. So I had to take care of him all my life.
Okay. Well, you all moved over there and were living there, correct?
Yes, sir.
And we saw the bedroom, and that's where the pictures was with Caitlin in the bed. Was that your room?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long had you all been staying over there prior to this incident?
Maybe a week.
Sometime while you were over there, specifically probably the 24th of March, you all went to Dollar General or wherever and got some pregnancy tests.
Yes, sir.
What happened and why did you all do that?
We went. Her period only lasted a day, so she wanted to go get pregnant. That's her and Chelsea actually wanted to go get. Chelsea wanted to get checked out too, because her and Skipper have been messing around right before, so she wanted to check to see if she was pregnant too. So Chelsea bought Kaylin and hers from the pregnancy test.
So all four of those weren't hers?
Uh, four of them, I'm not sure, but I know Chelsea had some too. That card she used on the receipt was Chelsea's card.
Okay. So the receipt that was shown of them buying the two packet tests, one was with Chelsea and the other one was for Caitlin?
Yes, sir.
When you found out possibly that she was pregnant because on Facebook or whatever you all communicated with, what was your reaction then?
I was happy. I thought I was finally about to be a dad, start a family of my own, have a big family. You know, that's all I want in life is a big family.
She wanted the same?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever talk about your future?
Yes, sir.
During that time, you were doing drugs.
Yes, sir.
Did you all have a conversation about that?
Yes, sir.
And what did Caitlin tell you about using drugs, especially meth?
She knew she just found out I was doing it. She really didn't tell me anything about it, but I told her I was gonna
I
quit.
don't object to the answer, any hearsay response
Sustain.
from somebody like Caitlin specifically.
Is it an exception to the hearsay rule because the declarant is unavailable?
Unavailable because
Caitlin? Well, I mean,
he can't bypass a rule by actions that he takes that are illegal. Okay. Sustain. Go ahead.
were you gonna quit?
Yes, sir. It was my last weekend.
Let's talk a little bit about Chelsea Ship.
Yes, sir.
We've heard a lot about her and things like that. How did you meet Chelsea Ship?
Through my ex-girlfriend's cousin, we were hanging out one day and he was dating Brandy Moon at the time. We went over to Brandy Moon's and Chelsea was there getting hot.
Okay. And how long before this happened did this happen?
Maybe 2 months.
Okay.
I just met her maybe a month or two before it happened.
And
Third time hanging out with her in person.
okay, well, it was enough for her to come over to your grandmother's house. You heard that, right?
Yes, sir.
So what made you all decide that you were all going to do meth together?
Cause I was selling her meth.
Cool. Where was she living at the time?
Crystal Beach.
And did you used to go down there?
We went. Day before it happened was the first time I even been to her trailer.
Okay. You said that you worked down at Stingray.
Yes, sir.
You didn't go over there during that time? Let's go to Friday before this happened.
Yes, sir.
Were you all together Friday night?
Yes, sir. All three of them.
Okay, how did you all get together?
We came over to my dad's house to do some laundry. And we sat around and talked for a while. Then when her laundry got done, we all packed up and to Crystal Beach. So they could do each other's hair, put feathers in each other's hair, and just we all hang out. I was sitting there listening to music and sitting on my phone while they cleaned up, did their hair and stuff like that.
And when you say they, who's they?
Chelsea and Caitlin.
Why would Chelsea why would Chelsea have to go over to your dad's house to do laundry?
If she didn't have a washer and dryer at her trailer.
Okay. So you all went down to the beach?
Yes, sir.
At what point did you decide that you had to change cars with Moon?
When the next afternoon, we were at the beach and Chelsea called Brandy and asked if they could switch because Brandy was going to the Baytown to pick up the meds. And her license plates on the truck were better than Brandy's on the car.
Okay, well, what, I thought a license plate was a license plate. Tell me, what's a better license
Her
plate?
tags, her tags on the truck are better than the ones on the car.
You mean they were expired
Yes,
or?
sir.
Okay. So she picked up the car?
We switched cars at roll.
Brandy Moon said that she didn't have really anything to do with drugs and wasn't smoking at the time. Did you know Brandy Moon to do meth also?
Yes, sir.
And did you go over there and smoke with her?
Yes, sir.
What did you observe through Chelsea in reference that somewhere down the line her attitude changed in reference to you and Caitlin? You understand what I'm trying to get to?
Yes, sir.
Well, hold on. Let me ask a question. There was evidence or testimony that said that Chelsea found out searching a Facebook page that she was possibly her age and that she was possibly pregnant. Where was that?
That was at Crystal Beach at her house, but I realized her attitude towards Caitlin changed at about 5 o'clock in the morning before it happened in Baytown at some dude named Dustin's house because we.
Okay, well, hold on a minute. When you say 5 o'clock in the morning, was that Saturday morning
Yes,
before
sir.
this happened? I mean, the same day it happened?
Yes, sir.
So did y'all ever sleep?
No, sir.
Okay. So you're over in Baytown at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, sir.
And what happened over there?
Chelsea ended up sleeping with this dude to get meth from him.
Okay. And what did you and Caitlin do?
We went to Danny's Donuts to get breakfast while they did whatever they were doing.
Okay,
And then Caitlin was ready to go, so was I.
okay, so hold on.
Yes, sir.
So that's when we heard testimony from one of the officers, detectives, that you had gone and gotten breakfast. That was over in Baytown?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Eventually, did y'all go back to Hampshire for net?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and where did y'all go?
Went to my dad's house.
Okay. And what did y'all do? Now you had been up all night. So what did y'all do when you got back to Dad's house?
We got back, me and Caitlin got out, went in the house and Chelsea left. But I left my key, my wallet and my dope in her car, her truck. And so when I got in the house, I realized I didn't have nothing. I called her back and she came back. She's like, why don't you just come with me? This is gonna be your last night to get high, last morning to get high. And Caitlin was like, yeah, that's fine, just go ahead. And that was the last time.
Okay, so that's when you went back down to the beach again?
Yes, sir.
And that's when the discussion started in reference to age and pregnant and sexual report, I mean, sex registration, stuff like that?
Yes, sir. I remember vividly hearing her talking about me getting in trouble and her finding out the age on Facebook.
There was some evidence, and when we saw on some of the video, one of the interviews, that you really weren't paying much attention because you were on your phone as Chelsea was speaking and getting upset and things like that. Why weren't you taking Chelsea seriously?
Because we doubt.
Huh?
We were just high on that,
Well, why didn't you take her seriously?
just rambling. High on that.
Well, did you know that? How did it make you feel when you were being accused that you were going to be arrested for sexual assault and having to register a sex offender possibly if convicted with a 16-year-old?
Not very good.
Well, was it not very good to the point that you needed to get rid of Caitlin?
No, it's not that bad. I'm sorry. I would never, no.
What do you mean it wasn't that bad?
I would never wanted to do it with Caitlin. So
How did you feel towards Caitlin?
I love Caitlin.
And you thought she was expecting your child.
Yes, sir. I thought I was about to be a family man, dad. I thought I was done with drugs. I was happy.
Eventually, you and Chelsea went back to that place there, your dad's place. When you got back, was it about afternoon or Saturday? Or what?
Yes, sir. It was the afternoon.
Okay. So when you all got back, what happened?
I grabbed her bag, which had my clothes in it, and we walked inside. I walked inside, I went to the bathroom and Chelsea walked by after me. I was wondering, I'm like, why is she walking in at my house without even asking? Why is she walking in my room without even talking to me? And as soon as I opened the door, I seen the flash and heard the gun go off, and I took off running
Okay, well, where'd you run to?
outside.
All right. Well, you went right, were you in the room and saw it?
Yes, sir. I had my head and my shoulders in the room. I didn't even walk in all the way.
Okay. So what happened after that?
He came running out of the house, said, it's okay, I did it for you, I did it for you. And I asked her, I said, what do you mean you did that for me? I said, we gotta do something. She said, no, she upped the gun on me. And I said, no.
Okay. Where was Dad at the time?
He was in the bedroom sleep.
Okay. He didn't get up.
No, sir.
All right. So you're outside. She said she did it for you. What happened next?
She told me to get in the car and drive her to Stony Arsenal's house.
Okay. And did you do that?
Yes, sir. She had a gun on me. I did whatever she told me to do.
And what did you do over there?
I sat in the car while she talked to Stony.
When she was talking to Stony, why didn't you just take off and save yourself?
I should have just ran, but she had the keys. I didn't think about getting out and running, but I also thought she would have shot me too. I was scared for my own life. I was traumatized from what I just seen too. I didn't know what to do no more.
Did you go back in to see whether or not Caitlin was actually shot or she was alive?
Yes, sir.
And how did you determine whether or not she was alive or not?
Seen her.
She appeared to be deceased.
Yes, sir.
After Stony Arsenal's house, what happened?
She told me to drive her to McDonald's so she can use the Wi-Fi so she can talk on the phone, call other people.
And what time did you eventually get back to the house?
About 6:30.
When you got back to the house, what happened?
Said I'll be right back. I'm gonna turn myself in and everything, but if you call the cops before then, I'm gonna kill you and your dad. I said, all right, I'm gonna sit. I'm waiting for it.
She didn't show back up.
So
As time went on, why didn't you then call the cops?
I was traumatized, and then it got to the point where it was too late. I figured I didn't want it to look bad on me. I didn't.
Did you leave your phone or did she take your phone?
She took my phone, my wallet, and everything.
There was credit cards or debit cards that somebody had. Do you know if it had your name on it? Do you know how that Stony Arsenal got those cards?
So the one with all my stuff.
Why didn't you wake up your dad saying, hey, we got a problem?
For one, I was really traumatized at seeing what I did, and I was too high. I didn't know what to do, and then I didn't want to involve my dad in it. I just didn't want to involve him in it.
Somewhere along the line, you took that truck that's in State's Exhibit #1 and went to a store. Remember that?
Dollar store in Hanford with us.
And you saw somebody there. Who did you see?
I seen Mac out
Mac?
there, so
And how do you know Mac?
I've known him since I was little in school. I used to call him Big Man. He called me Little Man at the bus stop.
Right. Well, why didn't you call the police then when you were at dollar store?
But it's already been too long.
Well, why did you ask Mac for help?
I asked him, what do I do? And he's the one that told me to come pick him up, to come get rid of the body. And I said, no, bro, I'm not coming to pick you up. I never came to pick him up. Never left the house.
Over the night while you were there, we saw in the interview and for your admission through Sunday night, just before the police got there, that you were doing drugs.
Yes, sir. Without,
How could you when Caitlin was dead in your bed?
I didn't know what else to do. I was numb, I was paralyzed, traumatized, scared. I just didn't know what else to do. I wanted to do so much drugs, I didn't wake up the next day.
Want to kill yourself?
Yes, sir.
Well, you did wake up the next day.
Yes, sir.
Did you think Caitlin was just gonna leave? Why did you put a plastic bag over her?
See it like that.
Did you love her? Looking back, do you think you should have maybe done some things a little bit differently? Like what?
All the cops. Now I hung out with people I was hanging out with for one. But if I would have known it was gonna happen that like that or anything was gonna happen, I would have never even went back home. I would have never even brought Chelsea around.
Was there ever a plan in which y'all were gonna leave the beach and she was gonna shoot and your job was to get rid of the body?
So
Was there ever a conversation about that?
there was never a plan.
Never a conversation. At the time this happened, how did it affect you? In the sense of when you heard the shot and heard what she said, were you upset?
Over the third. I ran out of the room crying. I can't listen to nothing slam no more. Without jumping, even in jail with suits hit the ground, I'm jumping.
Did you feel that this wasn't real?
Yes, sir. I thought it was all a dream. I thought it couldn't be real.
Emotionally and your senses, did you actually know what was going on?
I don't know if I knew what was going on, but I knew what happened, but I was saying it wasn't real.
You loved Caitlin.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's the person you were going to have the rest of your life with.
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you act? Was there something going on with you? I mean, why didn't you?
That's a question I think about every day.
Did you ever feel that way before?
So,
Did you ever, emotional wise, and what was going on? Were you angry at all?
no, sir.
Were you angry that Chelsea just shot your girlfriend, the mother of your child, possibly?
I was upset with Chelsea. I was devastated. I was sad, angry, confused.
For what she had done?
Yes, sir.
Jury has to decide what to do with you in reference to punishment.
Yes, sir.
What should they do with you?
Whatever that I feel is right.
Okay, well, tell me what you think is right. It's your life, it's your freedom. They have from 5 to 99 years, possibly, or life.
Well, I just pray they consider giving me another chance because I did plan this out and I really wish this would have never happened. She didn't deserve going out the way she did. She didn't deserve that to happen at all.
I realize that it appears under the law of parties, they think that you're kind of responsible for it. Well, you are responsible for it and came back guilty. Pass the witness, Judge.
I'm gonna be a while, Judge.
Go ahead.
All right, Mr. Arnold. Are you guilty of the crime of murder?
So
So all this discussion that you've had with your lawyer, you're not making any kind of admissions about the fact of what this jury heard and decided was your guilt.
I never murdered nobody.
They got it wrong. Right? That's the whole reason why you got on the stand. In punishment, you chose to get on the stand because you wanted to tell them this version, to look them in the eye and say they got it wrong.
Wanted to tell them the truth.
Right, you don't feel like the truth has ever come out.
So
So to be clear, you're telling this jury you don't accept their verdict, that what the decision that they made was wrong, and that everything that's taken place in this trial, you're the only one that's told the truth today.
oh, I accept it. It's not that I agree with it, but I accept it.
Okay, so if you're saying that you accept it, then you know they heard all the evidence that we put on, just like you sat there and listened, right? You listened all week. You heard all the evidence, right? And you had a choice about whether or not you would testify. You invoked your right. You chose not to. Remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay. They heard the arguments. They heard the evidence. They made a decision, sir, that you are guilty as a party to killing Caitlin Stone. So if you disagree with it, how is it that you're accepting it?
I asked you. I have no choice.
Right. So your purpose in telling them all this was for what?
But if you know,
Should be known. They should believe what you have to say.
only if
Okay. Well, let's start with that basic deal. Should they believe you?
they should, but that's up to them.
Okay. And in assessing whether or not they should believe you, are you telling them the truth today? All right. Let's start with one fact and we'll kind of go from there, okay? The fact you introduced for the jury today is, again, if I heard you correct, you admitted to the jury that you were selling methamphetamine,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
You stated that was how you got introduced to Chelsea.
Yes, sir.
Chelsea Shit, to be specific, that you sold her meth.
Well,
How many times? Be specific, sir, because it's all about whether or not you're telling the truth. Okay, I asked you to be specific. Now it's 4 or 5. Which one? 4 or 5?
I don't know.
Okay, when?
I don't know the dates either.
Where did you get the meth?
What drug dealer?
What's the drug dealer's name?
Mhm.
Then give me a full description and place and location where you bought the drugs from the drug dealer that later you sold to Chelsea.
Answer the question.
You're under oath. Everybody's watching on YouTube.
Answer the
These
question.
folks are watching here too. How truthful are you gonna be, sir? Give me a full description of him and where he was living.
He's a fat Mexican dude, as a part of Texas.
A fat Mexican dude. What trailer park?
By the school. That's,
When you drove to it, where was it?
about the school,
Which school?
the high school in Ukraine. They call him Gordo.
How many times did you buy drugs from that dealer named Gordo?
He asked you a question.
Um, I really don't know. I couldn't tell you.
But you know that's where you got your stuff.
Yes, sir.
So who else besides Chelsea were you selling drugs to?
Just friends around them that do some.
I'm gonna need you to be specific, sir. If you're gonna sit here and expect us to believe what you've got to say, tell me the friends that you were selling drugs to. See, here's the problem. Whenever you choose to give us some facts, you can't pick and choose what you're gonna say. You have now stated under oath that you were selling drugs to friends. We are now gonna identify who those friends are. You're gonna tell me their names. You're gonna tell me where they were. You're gonna tell me when it was that you sold them drugs. Who were they? What do you mean you don't know?
Who also meant to.
Okay. You said to the first question, your friends. You know who your friends are, right? Is that a yes?
You
Yes,
have to
sir.
speak out, sir. Thank you.
Okay. At least identify one friend. Because I can tell you my friends by name right now. I can rattle them off.
Brandy Moon,
Okay. When did you sell to Brandy Moon?
when I met her,
I thought you said she was a friend.
of a friend.
So now we're dealing with friends of friends.
My ex-girlfriend's cousin that I met, that was dating her.
Who else?
Oh, I don't know the last name.
Not the Cody that testified in here?
No, sir.
Different Cody?
He don't do that.
Well, let's not gloss over that fact. The Cody Smith that testified to this jury that told him that you had a plan with Chelsea does not do meth. That's the same Cody we just identified. He doesn't do that. So who is this other Cody?
That was my ex-girlfriend's cousin.
The ex-girlfriend's name?
That's my,
And it was her cousin. Was his name Myers? Who else?
Jose Lopez,
Who is Jose Lopez?
friend I worked with.
Where does he live? Where did you sell him drugs?
In Texas.
He lives in Winnie?
Yes, sir.
When did you sell to him?
All the time I worked in Crystal Beach.
And that time frame was?
20 to 20, to the end of 21.
So from 2020 to 2021?
Yes, sir.
So what you're expecting this jury to believe is that you originally met Chelsea through Brandy, that it was an occasion in which you were selling meth to Brandy, and that's when you met Chelsea.
We were all speaking high that day.
They were smoking your stuff?
Mine and Cody, Brandy had some already.
Okay, so how much were you charging whenever you sold, sir?
$50 an 8-ball.
So you're all getting high on this occasion. Did you charge them to do that? Were you smoking hers or yours or Brandy Moon's or Chelsea's, but not charging? Why?
because we're all just hanging out.
So if you're just hanging out, you don't charge?
Not because of Cody, I met with Cody was the homeboy of mine. He was dating her, so I charge the people.
So the Cody, whose name might be Myers, was someone that was a friend of yours that you wouldn't charge? I'm confused because I thought you said you only sold to your friends. Is that a yes? So if you were selling to friends, but if they were your friends, you don't charge them, where's the sell?
They make me want some money, so did I.
I wouldn't know, so. All right, let's segue from there. Put it before you, that states exhibit 55. You remember when I introduced this to the jury? You were placed on probation on March 5th, 2018. You were given 4 years for the offense of criminal mischief. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir. They did 4.5 to the 5.
I don't mind that you volunteered that, sir, but please don't volunteer information. Let me ask questions and you can answer. Okay? That's your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
You were a 10th grader in Hampshire Finette High School when this offense occurred.
Yes, sir.
You were 17.
Yes, sir.
So it looks to me that you were at least 2 years behind in school.
1 year behind.
And it was specifically right at the beginning of the school year. The date I have is October 25th, 2017. Yes?
That sounds about right.
Okay. And you did in fact key a teacher's car, a 2014 Jeep owned by, well, we'll leave the teacher's first name out, but Miss Sims. Yes?
Yes, sir.
And resulted in almost $3,000 worth of damage to her vehicle. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Whenever a defendant enters a plea in front of this judge and you're given an opportunity to give your version to the pre-sentence investigation officer. Do you remember that? And the purpose for that is to make sure before this judge makes a decision is to make sure that you're either accepting responsibility, all that. Do you remember? Do you remember what your version was to the probation officer? Did you in fact say that you were at lunch when a teacher saw you trying to leave? A friend of yours walked up to key the car. You took the keys from them and pretended as if you were keying the car. Then 2 girls went and told that you keyed the car. That sounds like you weren't admitting responsibility.
At the time, I didn't think I keyed the car. I didn't intentionally try and key the car. I pretended like.
You would know if you keyed a car, right? So you admittedly, you took an oath in front of the judge where you pled guilty to the offense. When you talked to his probation officer, you denied committing the offense. You said, hey, it wasn't me. It was these other people and some folks came along and said I did it. Right?
At the time, my lawyer told me to plead guilty and to work with probation.
In fact, you told that same investigating officer something along those lines. You remember stating, I admit I was there, but I did not scratch the car. I pled guilty because my lawyer told me to, and I was never shown the evidence against me. I don't understand how keying a car can land me in jail for 3 months, but if given the chance of probation, I will do good. I plan to get a car, then a job, and fly right through this so I can help take care of my dad. That's a quote that's supposed to be from you. Do you remember saying those things?
I'm about right, yes, sir.
I mean, I know it's been a while, right? So here's my question to you, Mr. Arnold. that statement, as well as the earlier ones, seems to indicate you weren't accepting responsibility for what happened, but you were taking the consequences. Kind of like what we've talked about with the jury you want to do here. You don't accept that what you did, what they found you guilty of, but you're willing to accept whatever they decide. You didn't have to whenever you pled on this charge. That was your choice, right?
Your Honor, I'm gonna object because the state knows that based on that version, this court would not have accepted a plea unless he took responsibility of it. So if there has to be something in the transcript that he says accept responsibility.
No,
This part of the plea is I accept responsibility.
no, part of the plea is, yes, I am guilty of this crime, and he signs a document admitting that he is guilty, and then it's under oath and the court relies on it.
Right, and then when the court gets the PSI report and looks at it, if he denies, defendant denies responsibility, then the court then goes into whether or not it's freely and voluntarily done. And so there has to have been something else there for this court to have accepted that plea to the satisfaction that he did do the offense that he pled guilty to. And so I'm going to object to this line of questioning.
Whatever was presented to the court and the court accepts a plea, it's because are you pleading guilty voluntarily and because you are guilty? And always the answer is yes, or else the court does not accept a plea, as we've done thousands of times here for 20 years. Go ahead.
So, all right, so however that played out, you entered a plea of guilty, you accepted what the responsibilities were, correct? When it came down to talking with someone, it was those statements that you made to an officer about your level of acceptance. I'm going to repeat the question I asked you before we got started. Are you going to admit that you planned and killed Caitlin Stone?
No, sir.
You do not accept responsibility for your actions here.
No, sir.
Recognize this wall in your room?
Yes, sir.
You're referring to, for the record,
Thank you, Judge. This is marked State's Exhibit 10, is it not?
Yes, sir.
What's that hanging on the wall right there?
Paragraph note. Actually, it's a belt buckle, but
It's really the first thing. Those are brass knuckles.
it's the belt buckle, brass knuckles.
They could be used as a belt buckle. Is that what you're suggesting to the jury?
That's really what it is a belt buckle.
See that note above that?
Yes, sir.
When did you write that?
I was 17.
So when the probation took place?
I was still in jail.
That's this note right here, right?
Yes, sir.
You remember me pointing that out to the jury in my closing, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Those are your words. Nobody else wrote that. You wrote that.
answer.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you're placed on probation. You go on probation on February 18th, and according to that, you didn't want to mess up.
Sure.
But one of the other things that I learned from your PSI on this probation, sir, is admissions that you've been smoking marijuana since you were 15.
Yes, sir.
Is the jury familiar with the term PSI, pre-sentence investigation, is what that means? Okay, I didn't know if the jury had understood that term, and you referred to it in the letters. That's what we call it, but it stands for the pre-sentence investigation that the probation office prepares for the court to review when I'm going to be accepting and a plea of guilty and sentencing. Thank you.
And on this list that we're referring to in State's Exhibit 11 that you wrote out, you said, slow down on smoking maybe, and I'm thinking you meant the word quit. It's the word quiet is what's up there. Were you referring to marijuana or meth?
I didn't do meth at the time.
Okay, so this list was intended to say about stopping smoking marijuana.
So that you said,
Did you stop?
yes, sir.
Did you get some tattoos? Because you said you were going to get all tatted up.
When I hit 18, I did. When I got a tattoo on my arm.
Got a few more since then, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
You got something they can actually see from where you're sitting at, because it's on the other side of your head, if I remember right.
Yes, sir.
What's over there?
Texas.
Pardon me?
Houston, Texas logo.
What else you got?
All right.
Sir, I'm just asking what other tattoos you have.
I got Caitlin's name in RIP, and I got a rose. I got a frog. I got all kind. I got a turkey. I got all kinds of stuff.
So when I read this list, when you say slow down on smoking, and then below there it says no more cigarettes, I kind of took it to mean that the smoking would had to be either marijuana, methamphetamine, not cigarettes. Was that a fair assumption on my part?
Probably so.
I'm going to clean up your language. You wanted to stay away from certain crowds.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you're selling meth, have you actually accomplished that?
No, sir. For a while, I did.
Yeah, but we're going to try to deal with the facts here. The reality is you didn't stay away from the wrong crowd. In fact, you were the wrong crowd. You're an admitted drug dealer by your testimony. You're the wrong crowd.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree or not?
Yes, sir.
You've also confessed to being a sex offender. You were a 21-year-old man having sex with 16-year-olds. You're the wrong crowd. You're a sex offender. You admit or deny that? I need an answer to that question.
No, sir.
No, sir, what?
You said 16 years old. There was only been one.
All right. Do you admit or deny to having sex with a 16-year-old when you were 21?
Sir.
Do you realize that that is the offense of sexual assault?
Sir.
Do you know that that means you've got to register for the rest of your life?
I do not.
Today's the day you realize that?
No, since I've been locked up, you're correct.
How about all the way back to whenever the conversation took place at Crystal Beach back in 2022? And Chelsea told you that you having sex with a 16-year-old was going to result in that. What about then? Did you realize it then?
She said that, but I didn't think I was going to get in trouble because his grandpa was abducting.
So you didn't realize it then?
Okay.
You understand now? When did it click? When did it click that, oh, wait a minute, I've messed up here?
When all this happened,
Oh, what?
Chelsea killed him.
So that day, March 26, 2022 was the day you realized it?
Probably 28.
2 days later.
You know, when I was getting in jail.
Sir, sex offenders are the wrong crowd. I say that. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I agree. I despise him.
You despise yourself?
Okay.
No, I'm asking you, do you despise yourself?
I do, actually.
Right below this, where we're trying to make sure that we know, hey, we've got to get out, can't be around the wrong crowd. Find a girl worth keeping and cuff her. Don't cheat, or I'll say F it up. Those are your words, right?
Yes, sir.
And you want the jury to believe that the girl you found is Caitlin?
Yes, sir.
You do know that I have, you've seen in the discovery that I've got access to your Facebook Messenger account.
Okay.
and you know that I've seen the messages that you sent to other girls. Do you realize that?
Around the time I was with Chuck, Courtney.
I'm just talking about on your Facebook. I'm just talking about on your Facebook Messenger account.
With a lot of girls.
Right. This is where I'm going with that. You like the ladies, there's no doubt about it.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things that you like to do on Facebook Messenger is get in contact with people and start up conversations. Yes,
Was that a question?
I'm asking you, is that true?
Yes, sir.
And once you start a conversation with somebody on, again, Facebook Messenger, isn't it very often, sir, that either you are sending them nudes or they are sending you nudes?
Yes, sir.
Notice what I connected that with, sir. The sentence in your deal where you wrote it, as you got out of jail from going on probation, don't cheat or mess it up, right? Find a girl worth keeping and keep her. Staying out of the wrong crowd, right?
Yes, sir.
That conduct that I just described to you for the jury's benefit, do you consider that good conduct? You messaging and sending sex pics to somebody, however you want to classify it, is that somebody acting like they're part of the good crowd or the bad crowd?
That's right.
And you did that with many women. Yes.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating whenever I say that, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you like to show them your junk, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it's actually, that's also some more conduct that you've had while you've been in the jail. Question, how many times did officers have to write you up for you masturbating in front of them?
3 times in 4 years.
Okay. 3 times in 4 years. Think that's okay?
Considering what I've seen in there, yes, not as bad as you would think.
So by comparison to the other guys in the jail, you're not that bad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No more stupid decisions. Just gonna get me back in jail in trouble. You see the irony in that, sir?
Yes, sir.
So whose decisions landed you there?
Mine.
You'll accept it that far.
Yes, sir.
Because the reality is, this girl who you say you love, she didn't know Chelsea before you, did she?
No, sir.
This girl was found in your bed, dead. Correct?
Yes, sir.
You just dispute whether or not there was a plan and whether or not you're the one that killed her.
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize she never would have been dead if it wasn't for you?
Yes, sir.
You pled true to this motion to revoke probation. And that was for this offense here, where on February 8th of 2022, you were in possession of a controlled substance in Chambers County, correct? You were in possession of, I think that was meth, if I remember my facts right.
Yes, sir.
Were you selling on that day, too?
Yes, sir.
You just happened to be in possession.
That's
There's some days you would be in possession and not sell. Just share with friends.
Yeah.
So the guy that got arrested with you on that occasion, was that a friend or somebody you sell to?
okay.
That's the person?
Yes, sir.
Hold that thought. You're in possession of less than 1 gram of methamphetamine.
Yes, sir.
The other individual that you were charged with was Jose Sal Lopez.
Sir.
You're telling me that that is the person Gordo who was your drug source?
Yes.
Pardon me?
No, sir.
He wasn't the fat Mexican that you described earlier?
No, sir.
Just another guy?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. I thought you told me that that was the individual.
No, sir. Understood that.
Is he your friend?
Yes, sir. And I work with. That's the friend I was working with.
Oh, he was the one you listed as somebody you could sell to that lived in Winnie.
Sure.
Y'all were pulled over in a red Mustang?
Sure.
Good vehicle.
Mom.
So you had that vehicle as of about 6 weeks before this murder.
Yes, sir.
And they actually found the methamphetamine in your left sweater pocket. Is that true?
No, sir. I didn't cigarette pack in a console.
So if the officers wrote a report stating that they pulled it out of a cigarette box in your left sweater pocket, that wouldn't be true?
No, sir.
This methamphetamine was in pill form.
No, sir.
So additionally, they found pills.
They found not ibuprofen, but sleeping medicine from over the counter.
That was the unknown blue pills that were found, sir.
Yes, sir.
You realize you were the only one that was charged with being in possession of methamphetamine, that Jose was in fact charged with the pills.
Did not know that, sir. Been in here ever since.
But you freely admit you were in possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, in February 2022 in Chambers County, Texas, on that date, and that substance being methamphetamine.
I pleaded guilty because I had back time for it, so I got it out the race.
That wasn't my question.
I pled guilty because I already had bad time for it.
Again, it's that admission thing. Are you admitting or not that you were in possession of methamphetamine on February 8th, 2022 in Chambers County, Texas?
No, please.
So you pled true to it, but it's another one of those things where it's not true. You're just doing it for a reason.
Yes, sir.
And that resulted in you getting the maximum on your probation, sir.
Yes, sir.
You couldn't have gotten more than 2 years state jail, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you are that individual that's listed in this state's Exhibit 55. You are that Cody Lee Arnold that's convicted of that matter. Yes? You were present when your grandmother testified?
Yes, sir.
That was it. That was this morning. So we're not going far back in time here, sir.
Yes, sir.
One of the things she indicated is that she asked you where Caitlin was. Remember that testimony?
Yes, sir.
And you told her You told her a lie. And she confronted you about that. And she said, I can hear Caitlin in the background. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
That means another witness has come in to hear, actually one that you called, that has told this jury that you were lying, that you had to be confronted about. You recognize that.
Yes, sir.
You see that.
Yes, sir.
She also testified that you were basically sneaking around to be able to spend time with Caitlin. You would tell people you were at one place, but you were actually at another. You remember that testimony?
Right.
When you got into describing Caitlin, I want to make sure wrote down what I heard correctly, sir. I heard you say, and I'm going to give you a chance to correct it if I heard incorrect. She followed me around like a puppy. Did I hear you correctly?
Yes, sir.
So this 16-year-old girl, she followed you around. And the impression that you were leaving the jury with during your testimony right then is that she kind of forced herself on you and her grandfather approved it.
No, sir. Not really.
All right, so let's contrast that. You heard the testimony from her high school counselor yesterday, right?
Yes, sir.
She described this girl as being, this girl I'm referring to as Caitlin. She described this girl as just wanting acceptance, that she came from a broken home and that the people at the high school felt like they were family because she really didn't have any family. And really all she was doing was looking for someone to love her. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
And she found you. You had an opportunity, sir, to be her strength, to be her background, to protect her.
Put it down.
I believe you failed.
Yeah.
I believe you failed miserably.
Everybody did with that.
I argued to this jury yesterday in my closing that I said that you probably loved her. That, and I was guessing, because I've never talked to you ever. I suggested that you probably have feelings for her, that you loved her, and that when you were messing around with Chelsea, and you and I'll talk about my wording there, I'm going to give you a chance to weigh in on that. But whenever you were messing around with Chelsea, she convinced you how much trouble you could get into. You remember my argument? Do you agree with that statement or not?
Okay.
So all that, what part do you disagree with?
You need to paint me in that.
That never happened.
Okay.
So that she was getting on to you about you being with a 16-year-old.
I remember she started tripping out because she found out her real age.
Right. And she was fussing at you about choosing a 16-year-old when you could choose a woman instead. Yes?
I guess so, yes, sir.
When you're saying tripping, they'll both melt out of your heads. True?
Yes, sir.
And she's fussing at you about sleeping with a 16-year-old. True?
Yes, sir.
She's telling you you could be labeled as a sex offender for the rest of your life. True? And you hear her saying all that. Yes? You didn't pay that much attention. Your testimony to the jury is because you were scrolling on your phone.
Put it on my phone and get that.
Sir, that seems like that is a life-changing conversation that's occurring. She's telling you about where you could go. There's crossroads you could take. You can choose to stop that relationship and move forward and not break the law. Do you see that crossroad?
Yes, sir.
Did you see it that day?
Sir.
You understand it today?
Yes, sir.
You see where you missed the right choice. you're disagreeing with the fact that when Chelsea told others it was then that the two of you had a plan, that she would do the killing and that you would get rid of the body. This is where that conversation takes place, according to her statements through other witnesses that this jury believed. Did those conversations take place? Yes or no?
What's that?
Is it possible? Maybe you just don't remember. Is it possible?
There was never a conversation about killing anybody.
No.
No, sorry.
So these folks that you talked about, they all just made that up on you.
But they went off of what she said.
What motive do they have to lie to you?
They just told me what they heard.
Well, let's go to some of the interesting details that stand out, in my opinion.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been here a while. Do y'all want to take a short break? Or keep going?
Take a break.
Let's take a break. Let's remember where we are. How about 10 minutes? The jury is present in the courtroom. All parties are present. I believe, Mr. Ham, on behalf of the state, you have the defendant witness on cross-examination. Go forward.
Thank you, Judge. Yesterday, the jury heard one of the jailers, Officer LeBeau, and he described how you threw feces on him. You remember that testimony?
Yes, sir.
Do you admit or deny that?
I mean,
Why on earth did you do that?
it's the only thing I was able, the only way I was able to touch me at the time. You saying I wouldn't do it, and you stop touching me out for. I'm cooped up all day, every day. It gets to you.
All right, so let's go back over this timeline. You told the jury your version of how you saw Caitlin killed. The suggestion had been that it was around 2:30 to 3 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Does that sound right?
Yes, sir.
They heard testimony and you testified as well that you said you were at gunpoint, driven to Stoney's. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes, sir.
And then after that, you guys drove to McDonald's,
Yes, sir.
and the jury saw this testimony from the Burla report that confirmed what other witnesses said, that you had gone to McDonald's. That's that one right there in Winning. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That you picked up some food and that you went to the Redneck Riviera. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
And one of the witnesses said that the two of you were sitting there acting all lovey-dovey, acting like a couple. Sitting there eating McDonald's. You remember that testimony?
I remember the testimony.
One, were you eating food?
No, sir. That's how I met. I was not eating.
You didn't get any food at McDonald's.
No, sir.
So when that witness stated that you were eating there, that you had gone to McDonald's, that's not true.
No, sir.
That same witness said the two of you were acting like a couple.
Not true.
Not true? All right. We go forward in time. Showing State's Exhibit 44. That's Caitlin there. Recognize her?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 17. That's her in your bedroom, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's a trash can in the bedroom, correct? That's this trash can that's in evidence is State's 43, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it was empty, correct?
Correct.
And you were asked by the officers as to why it was there. Remember the second interview?
Correct.
Remember how Detective Powell was basically all up in your face, showing you the pictures, asking you about what happened?
Yes, sir.
And you admitted that you brought it in there to clean things up.
Yes, sir.
And I used your words that you were cleaning shit up. Remember?
Yes, sir.
Clothes, towels, and her. You admit or deny that those were your statements on that interview?
That was my statement on the interview.
We go from that to where you're out there. I heard multiple witnesses talk about how you were on those footsteps of the trailer. Officers show up and they go, "Hey, we're looking for Caitlin Stone." Remember that?
Yes, sir.
Remember their testimony?
Yes, sir.
What'd they say?
One said she was invited, one said she was in the one.
Right? Now, where would they have gotten that information from?
Oh,
Both of them stated you're the one that said that on the footsteps of this trailer in State's Exhibit 1.
both of them said something different though.
Granted, one said you said fighter, one said you said orange.
Yes, sir.
Can we agree to that?
Sir.
So here's your question. I'm giving you a golden chance to explain to this jury. Why'd you lie to them?
I didn't.
Sir, you did. You darn sure did. Because when you're standing out there in State's Exhibit 17, where's Caitlin?
No.
And you knew she was there.
Sir, that's why when they asked me where she was, do you know why we're here? I said, yes, sir, my girlfriend gave my room.
No, sir, that comes after they go in and they find her and they confront you.
Where's the video?
You don't get to ask
Hold
me
on.
questions.
Hold on.
I get to ask you.
That's the way it works, sir. You're under oath. Answer the questions as asked of you. Do you understand the rule?
Yes, sir.
Both those witnesses asked you where she was before anybody went into the trailer. And your statements were, I haven't seen her since Friday. One officer said you told her she was in Biter. One officer said you told her she was in Orange. All before anybody went into that trailer. Again, golden opportunity. Why did you lie to the officers? Because I guarantee you this group caught it. I guarantee you this group convicted you because of your words outside on that trailer. So why did you lie? You didn't lie. That never happened. And you don't accept responsibility for what happened here.
I accept responsibility for what happened because it would never would have happened if it wasn't been for the people I was hanging out with.
There are no more questions of him, Judge.
Anything else?
No.
All right. You take your seat, sir. Next,
It's time defense rest.
Vince arrests. What says the state, any rebuttal?